Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Inner Wisdom, and you're watching another episode of Practical Witchcraft. In this episode, we're going to be casting a spell to win a court case. So let's hop on over to the altar and get casting. So today we're casting a spell to win a court case. So we're using the intention of seeking justice in this particular spell. So the things I am going to want to do, I already did the incense, but okay, so we're standing in the altar, in front of the altar. As I've said in every other episode, you want to make sure that as you approach the altar, you are in a meditative state or a trance state, a state of altered consciousness that you want to be in order to cast your spell or to work magic. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to assume I'm already in that state. Sometimes it may take 5 minutes, sometimes it may take longer depending on what's going on in your life. Obviously I'm not going to stand here, get into a trance state before we do magic. The video could be long, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so I'm already in my trance state. Then the next thing I am going to do is I am going to light my candles. Now, as I'm lighting my candles, I am going to be calling or evoking the energies that each of the candles represent. The red candle for me represents the primordial feminine energy in the universe, and the black candle represents the primordial masculine energy of the universe. So I would do my evocations, and then the white candle represents the spirit, the overall spirit, the two forces combined to create the spirit realm or to create all that there is. The white candle also represents the spirits that I work with. Here pictured on my altar are images of my beloved dead, but it also represents the ancestors, the spirit realm. Blood for red, black for flesh, and bone is the white candle. Represents all that there is, the microcosm, macrocosm, the whole universe is represented in the three candles I have pictured here. I have not pictured here, but I'm working with. So that's the first thing I do. After I evoked all the energies, I am now going to light the incense. And as I've said in previous videos, incense for me is a big part of my craft. The sense of smell is very important to me. I have a very keen sense of smell, so I like to have work with that. I like to have the aroma and the energies of the incense match my intention. Now for this particular spell, the incense is just 2 ingredients. It's chamomile and ginger, and I'm not going to craft the incense with you in this video. I'm going to show you it. It's already been crafted. If you want to see how I come up with what herbs I'm going to use, what resins I'm going to use, you can go back to the very first video in this series because I do walk you through that. So we're lighting the charcoal disc. I create loose incense. It doesn't mean that I won't use stick incense. If that's all you can use, then I suggest that's what you use. If you can't burn incense at all, you could always use an oil diffuser and, you know, blend some essential oils to create the scent for you as well. This is taking some time to light. And obviously, in all these videos, this is how I do this. This is the way I may do this if I were to actually cast this spell. It doesn't mean that it's the only way, and it doesn't mean it's going to be the same way every time. So maybe I have a court case and this is how I cast this spell. in this particular instance, but it doesn't mean that I'm always going to use this same spell for every court case I may be involved with. I may, but it's not a definite. It depends on what I'm called to do, and what ingredients I would be called with to use in that particular instance. Just making sure that the charcoal disc has lit. I'm going to actually use that to stir my incense. Here's the incense. Like I said, it only consists of chamomile and ginger. That's the incense I'm going to use for casting this particular spell. I would do this spell on Tuesday during a full moon. The other things I'm going to need is an orange candle. Okay, so I'm going to use this orange candle. It's already been burnt for a previous demonstration I did, but I'm saying this, I'm going to use this again for the purpose of this demonstration. But if I were actually casting this spell, I would not have a candle that's already been burned, because I would have allowed that candle to burn all the way down. But for the demonstration, we're going to pretend that this candle is new and has not already been burned. Because this is only a demonstration, I'm not actually casting this spell, so I would always have a fresh candle. I would never reuse a candle. If for whatever reason this spell did not take, I would bury this candle. I would not reuse the candle because it's already been used for a specific intention. Okay, so we're pretending this is brand new. We're going to use an orange candle. And the other thing I am going to use is the tarot card, the Justice tarot card. And I'm going to use the Rider-Waite deck. And I'm going to find the Justice card in this deck. There she is, the Justice card. So I'm going to use that card. Now, if you don't have a Rider-Waite deck, or if you have a different image of the Justice card that you feel drawn to use, feel free to use that. If you don't have the card itself, you can print out an image of the Justice card. I am using the Rider-Waite because this deck really works well for me when I'm casting spells. If I'm actually doing a tarot reading, I right now am using the Book of Shadows tarot deck, and previous to that I was using the Green Witch tarot deck. So for doing readings, I don't generally use the Rider-Waite. I did in the past, but for spell crafting, for me, the Rider-Waite really works well. So I am going to use the Rider-Waite Justice card, and I'm going to place my orange candle on top of it. So I am actually going to place this on this side of the altar because these specific beloved dead are the individuals that I'm going to call upon to work with this particular spell. Because these individuals, I feel, are more aligned with the particular spell that I'm doing. Justice, court, that kind of thing. It does not mean that I have not evoked this beloved dead that are placed on this side of the altar. I just feel like these particulars are more aligned with my intention. I am going to place some incense, get the smoke going. I am not anointing the candle, but if you feel drawn to anoint the candle or carve, address the candle in any way, then you should do that. For this particular spell, I don't feel drawn to anoint the candle. I don't feel called to carve the candle. My whole intention is really, or my whole energy is really aligned with the Justice card and the incantation that I've written for this particular spell. So once the incense is burning well, I'm going to light the candle. I'm going to light the candle from the candle that represents spirit for me, or the bone. I'm going to place it on the card. Now, I may feel drawn to place the card on top here, but knowing that this is a working deck I'm using, I know that if I place the card here, the back may be burned and singed. So I don't want to burn and singe this, which is why I'm not placing it on the pentacle. If it was not a particular card that I'd be too concerned about, then I would place it there. If I had printed out an image and it was just a paper, then I'd place it here. If it was not a deck that I'd be working with in the future, I would place it here. But because this is a deck that I use, I am not going to place it on top of there. I'm going to place it here. Then I'm going to say the incantation. I'm going to place my hands over the flame. Spirits from across the veil, I ask of you to heed my tale. Right all the wrongs that have been done. Unravel lies that have been spun. Bring the justice that I request. Avenge me now for this arrest. The hidden truth is now revealed. With these words, my spell is sealed. This I ask you do for me. This is my will. So mote it be. I always, in my old house, I used to bang my foot to seal the spell so I could hear the bang. In this house, I bang my foot, you can't hear anything. So this is why I slam my stone to seal the spell. At this point, I would raise energy. The chant that I would use to raise energy is simply justice. Okay, it's a 2-syllable word. So I would start slow and low. Justice, 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 justice. And I would work that up as I feel the energy. Justice, 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 until I feel the energy is raised. Release it, justice. And I am releasing that energy to the candle, because this in essence is a candle spell. So all that energy I've released, I am sending forth to this candle. Justice. And then I allow the candle to burn down while it's sitting on the justice card. Now, again, if this was not a card in a deck that I'd be frequently using, if it's not a card that I use and I am okay with it not being around, I would have placed it on here. If it had not burned already from the heat, I would then remove the card and burn it with the flame of the candle. That's what I would do. But because, again, this is a card I actually use in my tarot spreads video, I'm not going to burn it. If it was an image, I would burn it and put it into the cauldron. Either way, whether I burn it or not, I would keep it here and let the candle burn to the end, asking specifically these spiritual entities, these beloved dead, to work on my behalf, but also asking the collective of my spiritual entities to work on my behalf to ensure that justice is being served for me, that all the lies are undone, all the hidden truths are revealed, so that my court case would go in the way that I want it to go. I would win and justice would be served. So after the candle is completely burned down, after all the incense is burned, I would then make sure all the offerings I have to my beloved dead are acceptable, are complete. I would extinguish the candles and my spell would be complete. And that was the spell for winning the court case, or a court case. Until next time, I love you. Blessed be.